This demonstration teaches 2 academic reading strategies: Launch, an essential before strategy that will help you set a purpose or purposes for reading, and Met Purpose, an essential after strategy that makes sure you have learned what you need from the text and helps you know what to do if you have not. Think of preparing to read like preparing to launch a rocket ship. You need to know where you are headed and how you are going to get there. Finishing your reading is like landing the rocket ship at the end of the journey. You need to know if you have landed in the right place and if you accomplished what you set out to do. Setting good purposes can make a difference in how well you learn from a text. To set a good purpose, preview the text to figure out what the text has to offer you as a learner. Ask, what can I learn from this text? Second, decide where you need to focus. Now that you know what is in the text, answer, what do I want and need to learn from this text?
Some of these questions can help you decide your focus. How familiar is this material? To what degree do you need to understand this material? Maybe a superficial introduction is enough, or maybe you need to dig deep, or something in between. What does your professor expect you to learn from the reading assignment? To answer this, learn to read the professor. Observe what the professor emphasizes in class. Note the types of questions asked. Review the course syllabus and listen for any instructions about the reading assignment. Seek clarification about what is expected from the TA, classmates, or the professor. What signs does the author give to indicate the most important things to understand? What do you most want to learn from this text? What aspects of this text puzzle you or make you curious? Third, formulate purposes that will guide you to gain what you need from the text. To create a guiding purpose, distinguish between a motivational purpose and a learning purpose. Motivational purposes do not guide you to learn anything. They could be the underlying reasons for reading the text, such as getting an A on the test, but these types of purposes do not help you know what you are supposed to gain from the text. Good learning purposes, on the other hand, guide you through a specific text. A good purpose lets you know what to look for and what to think about while reading, and makes it possible for you to verify after reading that you have or have not met your purposes. You may compose your purposes as action statements or as questions. Either way, you can write a good purpose in 2 to 5 minutes. To create purposes using action verbs, say, by the end of this reading, I want to be able to do this. Put in an action verb and put in the object of what you want to be able to do. For example, with the chapter on the law of increasing disorder, define the law of increasing disorder. Describe irreversible and reversible processes and generate at least 3 examples of each. Explain what happens to unused energy. Tell how a refrigerator works using this law of increasing disorder. Or your purposes may be stated as questions, such as, what is the law of increasing disorder? How do irreversible and reversible processes fit with the law of increasing disorder? And what are 3 examples of each? What happens to unused energy? How does the law of increasing disorder explain how a refrigerator works? Fourth, decide where to place your purposes so they are easily accessible during reading. Some suggestions include, on the first page of the chapter, put a bookmark or sticky tab there so you can flip to it easily and often. on a sticky note that you move as you read, on a sticky note or sheet of paper placed above the text so you can see the purposes no matter what page you are on. Place them where you can easily refer to them. Read with your purposes firmly in mind and be determined to accomplish them. A tip: number your purposes. Put the purpose number in the margin next to where it's addressed in the text. As you read, you may realize the need to add to, remove, or refine your purposes. Change a purpose if you realize it's not that important or that you should focus on something else. For academic reading, always set purposes. Do not spend valuable time and effort on a text without creating strong purposes to guide your reading. Met purpose is easy if you have created useful purposes. Simply point to your purposes and prove to yourself that you have met them. It is not enough to say, yes, it feels like I met my purpose. Instead, prove it. Do the action if your purpose is an action statement. Answer the question if your purpose is stated as a question. Doing met purpose is a great review. Catches things you're not quite sure of so you can clarify or learn them better. Solidifies the important learnings you need to understand well. Helps you know that you know what you need to know. In conclusion, Launch prepares you to learn from reading by guiding you through a text with focus. Change your purposes if you discover that some of your original purposes are not what you need to learn. After reading, do met purpose. This verifies that you have met your purposes. If you cannot give evidence, go back to the text and clarify or learn the part well this time. Always set purposes to guide you through an academic text so you learn what you need and want to learn. After reading the text, don't just close the book and celebrate. Instead, validate that you have learned what you needed from this text. Then celebrate.